entering out on course for lap number 1.
What is up, y'all? Welcome to another race breakdown. This one was tactically really interesting, so I'm excited to get to this footage. This is LaGrange 2-3 race 2024. This is the next to last race of Speedweek, so people are getting a little thin on the ground, including our squad. We only had me, Zach, and then Ben DeJarnette, who is a newly minted 2, but he was a little tired, so it was kind of me and Zach today, and we told Ben to just do what he felt like he could do. So we knew that we needed to cover. I let a full lap of this play out so we can see the course, but this course is basically all up or all down. I think the only meters of flat are between turns 1 and 2. I know it says 0 briefly there on the elevation profile at the top left, but it's pretty much downhill except for maybe those crosswalks as we're going down into this corner. That is the over 90-degree corner. That's sort of the key feature of this course. I know a lot of people who hate this course because that goes straight into a 5% uphill and then make the corner and you're still going uphill. This entire front straight drag is uphill. So you can see Zach in front of me. Zach has had a really good week. With that one really technical corner straight into a hill, this tends to be a pretty selective course. So between that and our low numbers, we really want this to be a breakaway day. So the plan here is that Zach and I are both going to stay toward the front for the first fourth of the race, first half of the race, even if it stays together that long. It normally doesn't, though. And make sure that every move that goes, one of us is in it. We're going to have one of us cover, the other one sit back. If that move comes back, we're trading and going in the next one. But before those moves start flying and we get into it, I gotta let this audio from legend of the sport Frankie Andreu from the live stream play out real quick.
It's that Skyway team presented by Domestique Coffee. Keep your eye on them. That's a white jersey with the light blue shorts. They have been dominant the last couple races.
Going back and checking out this stream, I was psyched on that, so I had to throw it in there anyway. These first, I think probably 5 laps were basically full gas for everyone. At the point that it starts to slow down, we started throwing some moves up the road, so let's skip to some attacking.
Skyway at it again, up to their hijinks. That's right, number 865, that's threat. Zach was on the attack yesterday. He was a major threat.
Here is Zach coming back, and you can see I'm staying toward the front, but not on the front. I'm not bringing him back myself, but I'm staying in a good position so that when the counter goes here, I'm ready for it, and the counter does go right here. And I am ready for it. This kid from DDP Cycling, I think they were the other team with the highest numbers in the race. So the best scenario for me and Zach here is that one of us gets in a move with some of these guys from DDP and their teammates stop chasing. We're able to blow the gap out pretty big. Unfortunately for me, that's not what happens here. This one is still a little bit too early. It just kind of strings out single file behind this guy and he doesn't snap the elastic. But that leads me to a point I really want to make. I think a lot of racers sort of fundamentally understand, even watching back their own footage or other race footage, a situation like this, which is to say that because I covered this move and this move did not get separation, I think a lot of people watch that and go, that was a waste of energy. You shouldn't have covered that one because it was not the one that went. I think in this situation, especially with, as you heard Frankie saying, Skyway is kind of a known entity, kind of a marked team at this point. Everyone is looking to us, and if one happens, if a move happens that we don't cover, there's a good chance that that is the one that goes. So when we go, everyone knows they have to be there and it shuts down and we reshuffle. But we have to do that every time or else a move goes and we missed it and then it's our responsibility to chase. Here is the moment the elastic finally does snap. This DDP rider's been stuck on the front for the better part of a lap. We kind of take this corner wide. Boom, Lee's McRae rider hits it on the inside. Zach is right on his wheel, and I'm like, perfect, that is a great situation for me. Couple more guys panic and realize that might be the move, jump across. The final piece of the puzzle is right here with DDP realizing he's got to make it. I actually didn't think he was going to get there. I thought that if this is the one that goes, he might get stuck in no man's land. He did for a while and he managed to reel it back in, but those 5 get established and that is the break of the day. This other Lee's McRae rider goes to the front here, acts like he's going to kind of surge a little bit, but we got Lee's McRae rider in the move, DDP rider behind, and then me behind them, so we are kind of shutting it down and letting this break go out.
Here they are, look at them, they're getting closer, they're about to lap the field. 5 laps to go, they are moments away from lapping the field. Skyway has a couple riders in the main field that could be able to help them.
As Frankie said, here we are at 5 to go. I really spent the middle part of this race just in those first like 3 or 4 wheels, either setting a false tempo or chasing down attacks. There were a few people who realized, oh no, this is gone, my race is over, and sent some really desperate flyers. But other than playing kind of catch and kill, so just jumping on and not pulling through with anybody who is trying to go across or attack into the void between us and that move out front, I was really actually trying to keep this group as slow as possible. I knew as soon as this break went, partially because of how this course sets up, it's a really short lap. It's probably under a minute and a half is the average lap time, which is very short for a criterium course, and just means that a breakaway doesn't have as much ground to cover to get back to the back of the main field. There's also a lot of attrition on this course with the hill that we're on right now, so the main field shreds and shreds and shreds and gets down to less and less people, so the field doesn't have as big of a numerical advantage. So this is the moment the group has just caught. Zach's group of 3 at this point has caught us, and Kason Smith, smart move, attacks straight through right here. Everybody is a little on the rivet, and one of these DDP kids looking back to find his teammate, crosses the wheel here and goes down. I could see sort of as soon as he was looking back, you saw me swerve left. I sort of saw that crash happening in slow motion. I felt like that was Matrix vision. As soon as Kason heard it, he hits the gas, and he is a lap up. That is him in front of me right there in the red long sleeves, which brutal long sleeves. This was a hot day. I guess he's really banking on the arrow. Zach is on my wheel at this point. Zach has yelled to me something to the effect of that he needed me to cover this and he needed some recovery. So I get on Kason's wheel. I'm going to glue it back together. This is a good time to point out the rules around lapping up in a crit. So basically the rule is that a smaller group, a breakaway group, lapping up on the main field can reintegrate with the main field, and then any riders that are in the main field can help the riders that were in the breakaway. So if you have teammates, you are allowed to work together at this point. But any riders that are off the back of the main peloton that are caught by the breakaway are going to get pulled in most cases, or if not pulled, they're not allowed to work with the breakaway. I know this is actually different in the UK in their crits or circuit races. If a group of 3 catches the main field like they have here, and I guess I should also mention, this is now just a group of 3 that's caught us, not all 5. The MC cycling rider was taking that bottom corner not great and losing ground every time, eventually got himself dropped, and I think that Lee's McRae rider just went too deep too soon to get the break established and never could get back on it. So the remaining 3, that's one from DDP who has teammates, and then Zach and Kason who doesn't have any teammates up here, they have all lapped up. If this happened in the UK, they actually would have pulled all of the remaining field, so there would just be 3 riders out on course. This actually came into play in a bunch of the pro races in Speedweek. I know the first time it happened, the Ribble Rebellion guys from the UK were a little bit confused because that's not how it works there, and Rain Storm was able to basically do a full lead-out train made up mostly of riders who were a lap down and then out sprint them. So Ribble learned from that, and then there was a race later in the week where they started feathering the gap, where every time the breakaway would get close to the peloton, they would stop pulling, and Rain really wanted to lap up. They would start pulling. Ribble would go to the front of the peloton to keep the peloton away from the breakaway as Rain was chasing. It was really, really interesting tactics. There were also some interesting ones in the pro race here at LaGrange in terms of lapping up. There was a group with Ribble Rebellion once again represented, but also Michael Garrison was in that group. Michael racing with no teammates but did really well all Speedweek, never pulled off a win. And as that group got close to the main field, he started being the one to drive it for them to lap up, and I was yelling at him from the sideline, you don't want to lap up, make the other riders do it, because he was the only one there without a teammate. I don't know if he was just wanting to get back in that field and rest rather than have to take even pulls in the breakaway, but I felt like his best chance was probably to not lap up and then do a late race attack from that reduced group rather than trying to, I don't know, win a field sprint or just field sprint better than guys who had teammates to lead them out. I don't know what the plan was there, but interesting racing. Something that happens a lot on a course that is this short, this technical, this selective. Big group normally doesn't even make it to the finish, but even if they did, a big group doesn't have a big advantage on a course like this.
Skyway on the front, that's what I was talking about. That is an advantage for Zach Threat. He has teammates.
I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised I was able to hold the front like this for as long as I was. I think DDP, who did have teammates when they lapped up, they got crashed out or crossed up in that crash that happened just a couple minutes ago. And then it's really just down to kind of Zach and Kaysen for the win at this point. Kaysen doesn't have any teammates. I was honestly kind of surprised, though, that we didn't see some last-ditch attacks, like knowing that that was the dynamic, that it was really between Zach and Kaysen, and they were looking at each other, that some of these other riders, the few riders who are still left, you know, again, between the hill, the heat, and that crash, there are not many people left in this race. This is a race course where generally like 25% of any given field finishes on the day, and I was in that percentage that didn't even finish last year. I had a chain drop at an inopportune time going up this hill and just was not able to catch back on, and that was my day. So to be here on the last lap, going into one to go here, setting tempo with my teammate on my wheel, I was kind of expecting attacks to go from those riders that we weren't chasing. I would have let anyone go except Kaysen at this point. Anyway, I'm coming down the hill, and Zach, so things start to heat up. The Lees McRae rider, and again, this is not someone who is lapped up, comes by me with speed right before we enter this chicane, and I think I yell at Zach here, hey, this is you, you take it. Zach takes the wheel, so it's Lees McRae rider, DDP rider. Lees McRae guy skips a pedal right here, whoop, keeps it upright. Perfect sprint by Zach. Zach, you're on your own now. I trust him that if I got him into the finish in a good spot, I knew he could win this sprint. This is a great sprint for him. Slightly uphill, a little bit longer than it seems because it's, you know, the foreshortening. There's a couple of those lap drop riders in the shot for a second there. Zach comes through, huge, massive win, wins by a country mile there. So stoked on that one. Like, pretty much perfect execution for me and Zach. It went down exactly how we thought it would. We've been racing together for so long that we're really well drilled, and that's why I wanted that group to lap up. I knew that I would be able to help him, and you know, no shade on the DDP team, but they're all younger. They got their junior development program, so there's kids on and off that squad every year. They don't have, you know, 5 years of doing the same Tuesday Night Worlds group ride, just hammering their sort of cohesiveness every week in, week out, racing together. I just knew that me and Zach would be locked in once we got it together. Yeah, thanks for watching. I got a bunch more race footage, and keep, you know, looking out for it. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching.